In 1972, a crack commando unit was sent to prison by a military.
Explosion, mixed-up mission, 0 confirmed casualties. In the 80s, the A-Team was pure TV madness. Loud, silly, and completely unforgettable. And guess what? We loved it. But behind the van chases and one-liners was a behind-the-scenes story that's somehow even crazier than what made it to air. We're talking casting problems, on-set fights, network interference, secret Easter eggs, and a music video that truly has to be seen to be believed. So get ready. Here are 15 strange facts that prove the A-Team was just as crazy off-screen as it was on. And if you enjoy retro deep dives like this one, be sure to like and subscribe. I pity the fool who misses our next episode. Okay, I couldn't stop myself there. Now, let's get into the countdown with number 1. The first face was not Dirk Benedict. Before Dirk Benedict showed that famous smile as Templeton Face Peck, the role belonged to someone else for just one episode. Actor Tim Dunnigan played Face in the pilot, but NBC executives stopped everything when they saw the footage.
Yeah, well, you're about to get a chance to play for Colonel Lynch.
Their problem was that Dunnigan looked far too young to have served in Vietnam. And since the show was built around Vietnam veterans on the run, that small detail really mattered. So after just one appearance, Dunnigan was gone. And stepping in to take his place was Dirk Benedict from Battlestar Galactica.
Going out to do whatever it is you're going out to do without me.
Charming as always, and old enough to be believable, he stepped into the role like he had been tricking his way through missions since basic training. The change was never explained on screen, because one week it was Dunnigan and the next it was Benedict. No mention, no flashback, no clever explanation. Viewers noticed the sudden change, and over time it became a well-known example of an unaddressed recast in 80s television.
Number 2, the Cylon cameo was a Battlestar Galactica Easter egg. Have you ever noticed that shiny metal robot casually walking behind Face in Season 3's opening credits? That wasn't just some random prop. It was a full-on Cylon from Battlestar Galactica. And yes, it was completely intentional. Dirk Benedict, who played Face, also starred as Lieutenant Starbuck in Battlestar Galactica.
No offense, but were you at the controls during that touchdown?
Cylons work as a team.
While filming on the Universal Studios backlot, he saw a Cylon being moved between sound stages and came up with a brilliant idea. Time the shot so the metallic warrior walks right through the background. Instant Easter egg. Some fans didn't notice it until years later, when home video and careful rewatching made frame-by-frame analysis possible. But once they did, it became one of the most loved hidden gems in 80s TV. Proof that the best Easter eggs sometimes take a few years to appear. Number 3. There was more than one van, that iconic 83 GMC Vandura. It wasn't just a single van, it was a whole fleet of tricked-out lookalikes made for TV chaos. And it wasn't even completely black, despite what you might remember. The top part was actually metallic gray. But the mistake was so common that even the toy companies painted it wrong. The production used multiple different vans for different purposes. The pristine hero van got the glamour shots, while the stunt vans took all the damage. Continuity was a nightmare. Some vans had sunroofs, others didn't, and some had red GMC logos while others were blacked out after Season 2. In Season 3's The Bells of St. Mary's, Face jumps onto a van with no sunroof, then climbs through one in the very next shot. And when a van was about to be destroyed, the crew sometimes swapped in a completely different vehicle, like a black Ford Econoline with red hubcaps painted to look like those turbine wheels. Sneaky? Definitely. Convincing? Not really. And did we care? Nah. What started as a behind-the-scenes headache became something no one expected, a merchandising goldmine. Hot Wheels made tiny versions, Lego made it into a buildable set, and there were remote-controlled vans, lunchboxes, posters, and even a 25-disc DVD box set packed inside a scale replica of the van. All in all, several GMC Vanduras gave their lives for the show. One of the few survivors now lives in the Orlando Auto Museum. Sometimes the real star isn't a person. It's 4 wheels, a red stripe, and a whole lot of attitude. Number 4. Murdock was not meant to stay. Dwight Schultz's role as Murdock was never guaranteed, not during casting and not even after season 1. He wasn't the obvious choice at first. He was brought in for chemistry tests, and Schultz initially went under the radar until his audition impressed everyone. They needed someone funny without being annoying, wild without being offensive, and Schultz delivered his version of howling mad Murdock, and something just clicked. What started as a backup plan became a breakout performance, but the drama wasn't over. After season 1, some NBC executives thought Murdock was too risky for prime time.
They look great. They sing great, but they look great.
Yeah, man.
Oh, now come on, guys.
They even considered the idea of writing him out completely. Then the fan mail arrived, thousands of letters begging them to keep him. He tested very well with audiences, and viewers didn't see him as a problem. They saw him as the heart of the team. Faced with that kind of fan passion, NBC quickly backed down. Good thing, too, because Murdock became the A-Team's not-so-secret weapon and gave the show a burst of weird energy no other action series could match.
Absolutely not. It's no problem, pal. Well, that's very kind of you.
Number 5, their guns weren't automatic. The A-Team's favorite weapon was the Ruger Mini 14, a reliable semi-automatic rifle that became almost as famous as the van. But here's the twist. On screen, it sounded like a full-blown machine gun, non-stop rat-a-ta-ta-ta, like Rambo on overdrive. The truth, though, was pure TV trickery. The Mini 14 only fires one shot per trigger pull, so the actors were told to pull the trigger fast. Then, in post-production, editors added automatic weapon sound effects to create the illusion of full auto chaos. Why go through all that trouble? Well, because it worked. It made the action more exciting, gave the gunfights a signature sound, and made the whole show feel bigger and louder than it really was.
What you must do. First of all, you must have a weapon.
Over time, the A-Team's gunfire became instantly recognizable. Proof that sometimes all it takes is a quick trigger finger and some clever sound design to turn a weapon into an audio icon.
Number 6. The A-Team was too violent for the UK. Seriously. In the United States, the A-Team was action TV you could watch with your kids.
If you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire the A-Team.
Explosions were everywhere, shootouts never stopped, and there were 0 confirmed deaths. Every week looked like a war zone, but NBC have one rule: no on-screen deaths. So the producers went all out. Cars flipped, buildings blew up, people were launched through flaming windshields, then got up, dusted off their jackets, and limped away. It was basically Looney Tunes with machine guns, and somehow totally okay in the US. But in the UK, people panicked. British regulators criticized the show for glamorizing violence, and some networks were pressured to move it to later time slots.
We can get cops for snipers.
You think we've been had?
Tabloids warned parents, and politicians even debated it. So yeah, only on the A-Team could you destroy half of Los Angeles without spilling a drop of blood, and still cause a full media meltdown in the UK. I love it when a plan comes together. Okay, I promise that's the last one. Number 7. Murdock's full name is still a mystery. We knew him as Howling Mad Murdock, pilot, wild card, sock puppet enthusiast. But here's the strange part. In the original series, we never learn his full government name. Not in the scripts, the credits, or even the merchandise. He's just Murdock.
Murdock, what is with all the poetry?
Yeah, I noticed that too.
The 2010 movie gives him the name James, but that was only for the reboot. It was never part of the original show. In a team full of aliases and backstories, this guy stayed a mystery. But for the one member who flew helicopters, talked to invisible dogs, and maybe imagined entire missions, maybe that's exactly how it should be.
Number 8. The theme song was by the king of TV themes. That heart-pounding theme song that made you want to kick through a wall the second it started? Well, you can thank Mike Post, the undisputed king of TV theme songs in the 80s. By the time he worked on the A-Team, Post had already created some of the biggest hits on television. We're talking Magnum P.I. Hill Street Blues. Law and Order, and later, Law and Order SVU. If you were humming a theme song in the 80s, chances are Mike Post wrote it. And the A-Team theme? Well, that was pure Post magic, baby. Driving percussion, an unforgettable melody, and just the right mix of military swagger and Saturday morning fun. It didn't just introduce the show, it set the tone. It was urgent, bold, and just a little ridiculous in the best way. Play 2 notes and 80s kids are ready to jump in a van and save the day. Now, if you're enjoying this look behind the scenes of 80s magic, hit that like button and subscribe for more 80s TV deep dives. We've got plenty more explosions where this came from, so stay tuned. Number 9. Mr. T released a music video about respecting your mama. In 1984, while the A-Team was taking over TVs, Mr. T decided to take over boomboxes with a music project that was part rap, part life coaching, and 100% Mr. T. The result was an album called Be Somebody or Be Somebody's Fool, featuring the now famous track, Treat Your Mother Right. It was a spoken word rap backed by a gloriously cheesy 80s beat, and it did exactly what the title promised.
There is no other like mother, so treat her right.
But here's the thing, it wasn't a joke. Mr. T truly believed in the message. He used his fame to promote respect, hard work, and family values, especially to kids who looked up to him. This wasn't a cash grab, it was a passion project from a gold chain-wearing rapper. The music video became a cult classic, full of over-the-top sincerity and unforgettable visuals. And while the musical skills were questionable, the heart behind it was undeniable. In a decade full of pop stars and posers, Mr. T managed to turn a rap about respecting your mom into a cultural moment and cemented his role as more than just a TV tough guy. Number 10. The Benny Hill Show did a full-on A-Team parody. Want to know just how huge the A-Team was in the 1980s? Even British comedy legend Benny Hill made a whole sketch to parody it. Hill created the B-Team, a slapstick-filled fever dream that spoofed all the main characters with the kind of ridiculous physical comedy that made Hill famous. The sketch had Hill himself playing multiple roles, complete with outrageous wigs, fake mustaches, and fake explosions that perfectly captured the show's style. What made the parody especially clever was how it pointed out the slightly silly parts of the A-Team that viewers had learned to accept. Through Hill's comic lens, the show's cartoonish violence and larger-than-life characters became even more obviously ridiculous, but in the most loving way possible. When the A-Team became parody-worthy on both sides of the Atlantic, it wasn't just TV, it was a worldwide pop culture force, ridiculous enough to love and loved enough to parody. Number 11. One of the most famous phrases didn't come from the A-Team.
No, I don't hate Balboa, but I pity the fool.
Now, if you asked people to quote the A-Team in one line, most would say, I pity the fool. It became B.A. Baracus' signature phrase, even though the line never appeared in a single episode of the A-Team. That famous line actually came from the boxing ring in 1982's Rocky III, where Mr. T said it as Clubber Lang with so much intensity that it burned itself into pop culture history and into our collective memories.
What's your prediction for the fight then?
Prediction?
Yes, prediction.
Pain.
By the time the A-Team hit the air the next year, Mr. T was already a household name, and that line came with him, pre-packaged and already iconic. Be honest, did you think that line was an A-Team catchphrase? Oh, just me? Number 12. Why Mr. T ditched his gold chains.
I know Cool, and Cool's teaming up with a good balanced breakfast.
Teaming up with Mr. T cereal and getting on the team that knows how cool breakfast can be.
Mr. T wasn't just a TV star. He was a full-blown pop culture force. The A-Team, his own animated series, lunchboxes, cereal boxes, motivational videos, Saturday morning PSAs. The man was everywhere. With his gold chains, his mohawk, and that unmistakable glare, Mr. T became one of the most recognizable figures of the decade. The chains weren't just jewelry, they were his armor, a signature look that screamed confidence, swagger, and strength. But in 2005, everything changed. After seeing the devastation caused by Hurricane Katrina, Mr. T made a personal decision that surprised many people. He stopped wearing gold. He said it felt wrong to show off wealth while others had lost everything. He gave it up not because anyone told him to, but because it no longer reflected his values.
Be good, because everybody can be good, you know. Sometimes I tell them, if they're a little older, I tell them to be cool.
From then on, he wore red, white, and blue to represent something bigger: patriotism, humility, and purpose. It turns out the real Mr. T isn't just iconic, he is intentional. And that might be the most powerful part of his legacy. Number 13. Season 5 tried to fix the ratings and ended up breaking the show.
Want me to dial for you?
By season 4, ratings were starting to drop, so NBC panicked and gave the A-Team a complete makeover. In season 5, the team finally got caught, but instead of facing a court-martial, they were recruited by a mysterious CIA figure played by Robert Vaughn. Suddenly, the whole Soldiers of Fortune on the Run idea was dropped in favor of black ops missions and global espionage. The lighthearted chaos was gone, replaced with government contracts, serious tone changes, and 2 new characters, Frankie Dishpan Santana, a special effects guy for some reason, and a by-the-book handler named Stockwell.
Your career is on the skid, Santana. But because of your help, we're going to take care of your father's medical needs.
It felt like a completely different show wearing the A-Team's clothes. Fans who loved the original formula of wrongly accused vets helping regular people didn't follow the new direction. The heart, humor, and DIY chaos were all gone. The chemistry was off, and the ratings crashed. Season 5 became a textbook example of network overcorrection, proof that trying to fix a hit show can sometimes destroy what made it great in the first place. Number 14. The iconic prop was just for show. One of Hannibal's signature moves was lighting up a victory cigar. And unlike what many fans thought, it wasn't actually real.
Sure, pal. Here. Have a cigar.
Off camera, George Peppard was actually a cigar fan. He had his own collection and personally brought cigars to the set. In fact, it was his idea to make them part of Hannibal's persona, a deliberate touch to highlight the character's cool confidence and theatrical flair. The result was a puff of celebration that became as iconic as the plan coming together. Peppard's commitment sold it so well that the cigar became a defining image of the show, proof that sometimes an actor's personal flair can spark a legendary character quirk.
That's the way it's done in the majors.
Number 15. Bad blood on the set. On screen, Hannibal and B.A. were brothers in arms. Off-screen, however, let's just say it wasn't exactly a love fest. George Peppard was old-school Hollywood, classically trained, serious about his craft, and used to being the biggest name in the room. With films like Breakfast at Tiffany's and The Blue Max under his belt, he expected discipline, hierarchy, and respect.
I can't believe you did this. I mean, that car must be worth a fortune.
Then came Mr. T, a pop culture tidal wave with gold chains, charisma, and catchphrases. He shot to fame overnight, and his larger-than-life persona quickly started to overshadow the rest of the cast, including Peppard. That didn't sit well. And to be fair, Mr. T wasn't the only one Peppard had issues with. He reportedly clashed with every major female co-star too. At some point, you have to wonder if the common denominator was George. Anyway, Peppard allegedly resented the attention Mr. T got, especially since he lacked formal training. Mr. T, for his part, bristled at the old-school pecking order and felt trapped by Hollywood egos. Writers and directors reportedly minimized their shared scenes as tensions simmered behind the scenes. Watch closely, and you'll notice Hannibal and B.A. rarely share meaningful dialogue, especially in the later seasons.
This man's a pothead, Hannibal. He's high on smacked or speedballing or something. He wear them glasses so can't nobody see his eyes.
Still, you'd never know it from the episodes. That's a credit to the actor's professionalism and the editors who made it all look seamless. It turns out, editing really can make the impossible look like teamwork. So there you have it. 15 weird A-Team facts. How many of them did you know, and did we miss any? Let us know in the comments below, and be sure to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the shows that defined our childhoods.